Dr. Greg Postel in with us. What's the deal? Yeah, we got some different opinions on these models going on.
Yeah, I mean, models have been sort of giving us some head fakes in the last couple of days. Are we going to have some big weather in the Northeast, maybe cold, maybe even snow? And if you look at the most recent forecast from, for example, the European model, which shows a big dip in the jet stream in the east, you kind of get the sense that, okay, I've seen enough of these to kind of go with it, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what we're looking at when we see the pattern with the jet stream in the east, and, you know, the cold air is there, guys. And so you see enough of these forecasts and you get the sense that it is going to likely continue that trend. So you have to ask yourself, when you go that far out, are we confident in these forecasts?
Yeah, and so how do we figure out that confidence? So you're looking at the models over the past several days, or?
Yeah, exactly. If you look at like recent skill in how good these models are, right? You go back the last 30 days. What we're doing here is showing you that as you go farther out in time, day 2, day 4, day 6, something like that, you know your model forecasts are going to get worse. They just are, and you can see that decline right there from good to fair to pretty much no better than looking at your calendar and finding out what the average temperature is. So really at about day 6, you got to start to figure that, okay, something else needs to come into play here. We have to figure out something else to do than look at one single model run.
And yet we have 10-day or even 14-day forecasts, so we must be looking at something.
Yeah, we are. And part of the reason why you see the significant decline here in the forecast skill is because the models are starting off from an imperfect place. We don't know the initial conditions exactly. So they're always going to be wrong. And so the idea is to run a whole lot of models, right? And run a whole lot of models, and hopefully you'll get that initial condition just right. So you sample it a whole bunch of times in the middle, and what you end up getting is what's called an ensemble forecast, where you try to hope that some of these build a consensus. And that's kind of what we're seeing here for next Friday.
Okay, that's a decent, I mean, that's a little bit, you know, in the specifics, you're going to get really hairy with that, but that's a decent model consensus, at least with the amplification of the jet stream. So what are you thinking? What are your thoughts?
Right. What we're seeing is here a lot of these tweaks to the model are showing pretty much the same thing. So we're pretty confident there's going to be a trough in the East Coast. And when you blend all that together and you come up with an answer, which I think we do very well here at the Weather Channel, is our forecast for Friday, which is pretty darn cold in Chicago. And that's not it. It's going to also get eventually colder in New York as we move through the next couple of days. So you have to sort of blend all that information together and come up with a confidence. And how good do you feel about that forecast? And right now we're doing pretty good, I think.
Oh, okay. So an 8. So the kids, you may need to have, if you're in the upper Midwest, an alternative costume?
I would say so. I think the coldest air of the season is on the way. Unsettled and stormy conditions, and maybe even some snowflakes coming in.
Wow, it's early.
Snowflakes coming in perhaps Friday night and maybe even Saturday, because if you look at our forecast on Saturday as well, it's also cold in the eastern third of the country.
Yeah, a mixed bag of precip through much of New England. New York City with a high in the upper 40s is our forecast Saturday.
Coldest air of the season is coming.
Ooh, we will check it out.